So now the eyes are done, you can get on with the base. You've cleared away any droppage and cleaned up underneath the eye. If you want to put on a fine layer of primer, you can either apply it with your hands or with a brush. So I'm going to use a under eye concealer. This is a double wear flawless wear concealer. I'm going to apply this under the eyes. Forehead. Bringing it down the nose and onto the chin. I'm now going to take a damp beauty blender and buff it into the skin. Now with under eye, you can use it on top of the base or underneath the base. I always find sometimes with bridal it's nice to use it underneath, as if you use too light a concealer it can become a little bit too harsh and too pale. I like to use a really soft under eye, but something that's going to stay and have a lot of coverage. Especially the few nights before the wedding, things can be really stressful and they tend to, and brides can tend to lack in sleep. So it's always really, really important to get a good under eye. I'm now going to go in with the base. This is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I always find a lot of brides really do like this foundation because it's soft, dewy, but still has a lot of coverage. Again, with my beauty blender, buff it into the skin. Once you've got your base on, I'm just going to use a really subtle contour trick, and I'm going to use this iconic foundation stick and my iconic brush. Really gently shade in all the parts you want to look a little bit more structured and defined. Once you've applied the contour, you want to take a buffing brush and blend it all around to give you the flawless finished look. I'm now going to set all of the highlight and the under eye to get rid of any shiny areas that you don't want. It's very important to set your makeup with a powder, especially under the eyes, as it helps keep the makeup on for longer. I'm now going to set the contour with a little bit of powder. When you're setting the powder, it's always really nice to use a really big, thick brush, but not so much product. The reason being, if you're using a little bit of product with a big brush, it helps to blend it and keep it really soft. Once you've blended it round, if you find it's not strong enough, you can always build it up layer by layer. It's always best to go with a little bit and add on top. Once you've set the highlight and contour, you want to go in with a little bit of blush, working in circular motions in an upwards direction. The trick with this is it creates lift into the cheekbones and lifts the face up rather than drawing it down. Again, blend it in with the brush. going in with my blending brush again, just to blend it all in. With bridal makeup, you don't want any harsh lines. You want it to look as soft and as natural as possible. Now I'm going to use a liquid illuminator. This is a beautiful highlighter, it's my favourite, and it goes on so nicely. I always like to put this on with my finger and then blend it in with either a brush or a sponge. Again, little bits at a time, just blending it in. Now you can use powdered highlights. Again, it's your complete personal preference. However, with bridal, especially because you want it to look light and fresh, I would stick with the liquids, stick with your cream foundations, cream concealers. You want them to look as dewy and fresh as possible. With my fan highlight brush, I'm just going to get whatever's left on my hands and really gently brush it across the brow bone. Once you're finished with your base, I always end with the lips and the eyebrows. The eyebrows frame the face and just finish off the look. My favourite product for eyebrows is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pro palette. It's got every shade, it's perfect for a makeup artist. It's got every colour you could possibly need. So I'm going to take my brush, my angled brush, and I'm going to use the lighter colours first, just brushing up in the motion of the hairs. Brushing them as you go. Again, with eyebrows, it's all personal preference. So if you like a strong brow or a soft brow, you cater for your bride in your consultation. When it comes to the lipstick on the day of their wedding, you want to always advise that they stick with a really easy colour, like a nudie pink or something soft that isn't too hard to maintain. Again, like I said earlier, if they do wear a red lip or a certain colour and that is their signature look, then that's totally fine. They can obviously go ahead. But when they're asking for your recommendation, I would always suggest a nude lipstick. So first, I'm just going to line the lips with a soft nude, and again sticking to the autumnal sort of theme, I'm using more of a brownie nude than a pinky nude, just to tie in with the colours on the eyes. I'm going to use a brownie nude. This is Crush by Bridal. It's one of my favourite lips. It's one of my favourite lipsticks. I'm just going to apply using a brush. And again, personal preference, but if your bride wants a nice gloss to finish off the look, you want to match a nice sort of peachy colour. Together. Once all the base is blended and you've got every part of the makeup on, you can then set it with the powder or set it with using a setting spray. Close your eyes. You can let that soak into the face. So as soon as you've finished, I would always recommend either leaving the lipstick with the bride or in the trial discussing what makeup they'll need with them in the day. Remember, it's a long day and the wedding's normally always in the morning, so you always want to advise that they take a powder, a lipstick and any under eye or eyelash glue, any extra things that they need. Make sure they've got it all together in a bag. And remember, always, always, always get the bride ready last, so then she's looking fresh and glowy for as long as possible.